What's up, folks? Welcome to Body Rocking Combos. I'm Javier Morales. This is my show. I believe we're at episode 6. And we want to talk some boxing here. Let's chop it up. Sorry for the sound. If there's an echo or anything like that. Show's barely kicking off. I'm going to have a whole setup. Still working on it, man. I just wanted to get off the ground as fast as possible. Get used to making these videos. Excuse me for the uhs. As soon as I get a little bit more comfortable, I'm pretty sure I'd get a lot less uhs, right? Probably just some from the true boxing fans that believe what I'm saying and know that it's true. Because around here we speak reason and logic, and we keep that hate and narratives. Yeah, we don't mess around here with them things. I want to talk about this subject real quick, man, because I get a little bit passionate about it, and hopefully I can get a few guys, a few people some knowledge and maybe a little worked up, and maybe we can let it be known. So Canelo's road to Undisputed, is it legacy, money, or is he ducking, right? We'll start with the ducking. It's the funnest part. You know, a lot of people, we talk about them pushing this narrative about Canelo ducking Jermall Charlo, right? That at 54, he ducked Charlo and ducked Andre, right? But let's think about this. When Canelo was fighting Austin Trout, Floyd Mayweather, fighting number one prospect Gomez, fought Tata, Carlos Baldomir, knocked him out for the first time. You know, former champion. Let me see, fighting Sugar Shane Mosley. All this other, I mean, this whole period where he's already like 40-something fights into it. You know, a big name, huge following, title holder, fighting the quote unquote with, you know, TBE, right? At a tender age of 23. Well, Jermall Charlo was barely fighting people that weren't even contenders yet. You know, he was fighting I don't know, probably like beginner fights, little breakout fights, little easy pickings, you know, cherry pickings, right? Or just to get him warmed up and work out little things. He was barely learning his craft, you know. He didn't do the amateurs. He wasn't a boxer, you know. His brother was Jermell. Jermell did the whole thing, and then he came in later. So to say that this guy's not even at that level yet, and say that Canelo was ducking him, it's just straight like propaganda, or I don't know what you want to call it, but it's a lie. It's a lie. Why would you fight this guy? Why would y'all want him to fight Canelo at that time? The man, he turned down a fight. Oscar de la Hoya said it. Your boy Jermell Charlo, his own brother, said it. Now I know y'all want to push that little, oh well, I don't know, maybe he was just mad and he just said something. Negative, sir. Negative, sir, because when you're mad, the truth comes out, you know? And that's exactly what happened right then and there. The truth came out. If Canelo would have fought that guy a long time ago, he would have already had that O long gone, right? If he would have fought either one, then it would have been long gone. Let's see. So Canelo fighting all these champions, moving up in weight, risking his O for a long time. I mean, you know, you could say that, oh, well, the judges give him this, the judges give him that. But, I mean, those are the judges, man. The way they see it, the way they score it, that's on them, man. I mean, I like to think, man, because I love my sport. I love boxing, and I hate to say that there's corruption in it, but I mean, they might favor one, or the crowd might favor, and that kind of gives them I guess you could say sometimes, not necessarily. I'm saying that that's what happened on the Lara fight, because people say that Canelo lost to Lara is what I'm talking about. I don't know if I said Lara, but anyway, that you hear the crowd cheer for everything and this and that, and that might persuade the judges to go towards the more popular fighter, right? And sometimes you see that, I mean, it's blatant robbery, but who knows, man? Who knows what it is, but I believe Canelo, is stepping up, taking those challenges. He didn't have to fight Lara. He went in there, fought Lara. It was a tough fight. It wasn't hard. It was tough. It was difficult. But Canelo still did his thing. Right? He was the aggressor. He landed clear punches. I mean, his body was ate up. Even Lara was like, hit me in the head, try to hit me in the head. Because he was cutting him off and hitting him, and everybody was criticizing him not being able to cut off the ring. But I mean, if you see it, he wasn't following them, and I don't even know if people know what cutting off the ring means. It's another thing. The criticism that Canelo gets, that he don't know how to cut off the ring. I've seen him do it plenty of times. You know what I mean? He's flat-footed. So's Floyd Mayweather. So's James Toney. So's a lot of fighters, right? There's fleet-footed and there's flat-footed. I mean, what do you say? You point out one of these guys who are twinkle toes. Somebody was trying to make the case that he doesn't want to. I'm going to get that to in a little bit about the whole Spence and all that situation. Spence, Jamal, who else? Jermell. Boo Boo Andre, Demetrius Andre, that he doesn't want to fight those type of guys. That he don't want to fight type of guys like Caleb Plant. Apparently, he didn't want to fight him a while back. That he would never fight him. Fresh out the contract, who is he calling up? Huh? Fresh off the contract. Who was De La Hoya knocking on his door, talking about let's fight, and he turned it down. Caleb Plant. The one y'all said he wouldn't fight, just like y'all said he wouldn't fight your boy that he's fighting this tonight, Smith. That was the thing. He ain't gonna fight Smith. He ain't gonna fight Benavidez. He ain't gonna fight Plant. He ain't gonna fight this. Just keep saying he ain't gonna fight. He ain't gonna fight. He ain't gonna fight. And I tell you what, if Ward was here today, he'd fight Ward. I'm pretty sure he'd fight Ward. Because he wants legacy. He's not ducking anyone. Y'all keep saying he's ducking. Now it's him calling the shots. It's him and Eddie Reynoso calling the shots. There's no Oscar conflict of interest or him trying to just make make it easier for his fighter. If he put weight clauses, catch weights, and all that, I'm not gonna say that Canelo and his team didn't have a part to do with that, but I mean, he was sure. I'm pretty sure he was the one, giving the little idea. Like, hey, why don't we just go ahead and do this to make it a little tougher on him, or make it easier on you, whatever, right? But let's say those rehydration clauses, right? When he fought Daniel Jacobs won the IBF, okay, right? It wasn't his first time fighting for the IBF title. When he fought for the IBF title against Triple G, what did he do before the fight? He didn't make that 10-day. The next day, 10 pounds. He wanted to get over on him, right? He wanted to have that advantage, so he didn't do the hydration clause. He did. Man, don't worry about what I weigh, but I'm gonna go in there, whatever. So I think Golovkin had the 3 belts then, so they snatched that belt and took it out of the fight because it was no good, right? Nobody's gonna win it. I mean, Well, Golovkin will still hold it. If he lost, I think it just goes in the air, right? But anyway, he would not win it. So maybe they lost out on sanctioning fees? Maybe. I'd imagine so, right? Nobody's going to win it. Golovkin's just going to keep it or lose it. Either way. So, they came up with this bright idea that, hey, if it's a unification fight, then that the IBF is not going to hold that hydration clause. It's not going to be a standard. It's not going to be enforced. There you go. It's not going to be enforced. So they changed that rule to suit pretty much themselves, but just because they lost out because of the way Daniel Jacobs was trying to get the upper hand on Golovkin. I'm not going to sit here and argue did Golovkin win or did Daniel Jacobs win that fight. I'm not going to talk about that because that's not the point here. Now, fast forward, right? He fights Sergey Devinchenko. 160 hydration clause. Makes the hydration clause, wins a spectacular bout versus Devinchenko, right? Was not a problem. Didn't bother him one bit. He felt that he had that one in the bag and he felt confident in himself. Did the hydration clause, got the belt, then got the Canelo fight, right? And I'm not talking, no disrespect to the Miracle Man, but he did after his loss to Golovkin, man, he redeemed himself. He had 3 straight wins, and that's good. That's what you need to do. You get a loss, you get back out there, and you work on your confidence. You work on what you feel like you need to work on, and when you feel like you're ready, face the top guy, try to get the belts again. That's what it's about, right? It's not how you lose. It's it's not that you lose. It's how you lose, right? Or how you take it that you lost. What you do after. Anyway, so then he fights Canelo, and somebody came up with the bright idea that we'll just put that hydration clause like it should be on it. Maybe they already knew business-wise that, hey, this guy's going to try to get the upper hand, and he's going to, since the IBF is not going to enforce it, then they cannot they're not taking the belt out anymore because it's a unification. They'll still get their money, but this guy's going to try to get the upper hand. So if he's going to do that, then let's at least make a little change from it and put the hydration clause when we know he's going to come in. He's not going to bow down to it. We'll get about $250,000 for every pound he goes up or something like that, I believe. I'm shooting a number out there. It might have been 100,000. I don't know what it was. So he does that. Canelo still schools him, beats him clearly, makes excuses, right? Another guy that y'all said he would not fight, Daniel Jacobs. He would not fight him. He beat him. Man, Canelo paid him off. It was a rehydration clause. He's too big for that weight. Weedy, blase. Man, no. Chill out, Deontay Wilder. Take your loss like a man. Quit being a little bitch, right? Making excuses. Okay? Now, so we already covered Jamal not being on the same level as Canelo. And at the time, he's getting better. He's doing his thing. He's learning. His team turned down that fight for a reason, because they knew he wasn't ready. He can go out there and cry cinnamon, yell cinnamon this and cinnamon's that, and why you ducking me and all this. Hey, Canelo ain't sweating him, dude. Canelo's not sweating him. Man, he's not sweating him so much that he was on the treadmill and they were interviewing, I think, Little Giant. Little Giant Boxing or Little Giant, that channel was interviewing him, and shout out. I'm trying to think of his name. Anyway, he's asking him, what do you think about Jamal Charlo? He's like, yeah, man, he's a good fighter. He's great. He's talking good about him. He's running. He's like, oh, he said he can knock you out. He said, man, they all say that, right? They all say that. And then once he doesn't do it and I win or whatever, and then everybody else is going to come and there's going to be another guy. And then I beat him and there's going to be another guy. So he's like, yeah, it's whatever, man. When it happens, it happens. We'll fight. I mean, yeah, I want that fight, It is what it is, right? How you doing, man? Pass me my towel, man. I'm starting to sweat here. Man, it just bothers me, man, how people push this. They're just pushing this narrative, making this little story up. Like, dude, Jamal got his ass handed to him by Korobov, man. Clear as day. Clear as day. You want to talk about a robbery? That's a robbery, right? You want to talk about corruption? There's your corruption right there. Even when you brought up little what's his name? Like that one singer from the 90s, what's his name? Brandon Adams, when he fought Adams. A 154 pounder, dude, you just left 154. You fought a dude with no legs, a dude with no experience and looked like Pee Wee Herman, right? And I don't know if it was Korobov next, who he was covering, he was filling in for Monroe, who they're showing right now, Willie Monroe, for because he failed a drug test, right, for steroid use. Anyway, so they got a guy who was already about to fight, like a week or two before the fight, I think. Yes, it was like about a week or so. It wasn't that much time, and he was already going to be on the card. They're like, hey, get this old man, drain him real quick. He has a week to lose 8 pounds. They know that we're getting the upper hand on him. I don't hear nobody talking about that, right? They knew that we're getting the upper hand. Oh, but he's the A side. He's the A side. He's the A side when it benefits your little fighter, right? But when it's the A side for someone else, y'all call him a diva, right? But it's okay. I get it. It should be all fair. It should be all fair. Rules should all be followed. And if there was a law about it, they should abide by it, right? All right. All right. So, let's see. I already talked about, Andre. Let's talk about Andre, right? And I'm a big Demetrius Andre fan, I mean, I don't like all the shit talking, right? I don't like him talking just talking mess because for what? For what? The fights are going to be made, and y'all might try to entertain or whatever. And I get it. Okay, so that's going to be a way to get your fight. I get it. Okay, you want to get the attention. You want to go under the skin. A lot of did it. So why can't you do it? I guess, right? I don't know. But Demetrius Andre, who got dropped by Vanes Mataroshin, good fighter, amateur background, good career. I mean, he was doing his thing. He's not he's not an elite, Naturally smaller guy than him. But they were at the same weight class, so we're not going to say anything, right? Because, anyway, so we have Demetrius Andre, who the time that I remember they were talking about Canelo fighting Demetrius Andre is when he came up with that ankle injury back in 2000 and so right before he fought, 14 maybe. Yeah, 13, 14, right before he fought, what's his name? Man, it might have been 15. James, old boy from Austin. Kirkland. James Kirkland. Yeah, James Kirkland. Anyway, whenever he was gonna fight James Kirkland, so they had three options, right? When I read, this is before, I remember, I don't even know if I was even watching these YouTube channels by this time, but I remember reading on a news site, boxing news site, was that he was gonna fight either Cloudy which was 147 pounder, I believe. One of old Pacquiao's victims, but he was a name, right? He was a name. They wanted somebody coming off that ankle injury that they could still make a fight, and it wasn't gonna be tough on him or risk, messing up his ankle. Hey, that's what a promoter is supposed to do, kind of like somewhat, give you an advantage, protect you. I mean, looking after his guy, and still trying to get in some work. But they said Andre, Cloudy, or James Kirkland, right? They ended up going with Kirkland. It was a tune-up fight. What do you want for a tune-up fight? If they had 3 of those guys as possibilities, listen to this, at that time, for a tune-up fight, that's how they were looking at Andre, as a tune-up for Canelo, right? But they see that the man moves around a lot. He's a fleet-footed fighter. He is a fleet-footed fighter. So they didn't go with it because of the ankle deal, right? I believe he was with All-Star the whole time, and man couldn't get fights for like forever. Right? He ended up leaving him. Good for him. I mean, his career is not doing so much better now. But why is that? He's got Billy Joe Saunders. Who's going to fight Billy Joe Saunders? He's been calling out those Charlo brothers forever. Okay, so him and Jamal were set to fight, and then something came through with negotiations, and there wasn't enough money, or I don't know what was going on with that. And okay, so I'll give you that they were set to fight, but I guess he pulled out because of the money situation. I don't know. But if it was the other way around, y'all be like, oh, he just prices himself out, or he's just lowballing him so he doesn't fight him, or something like that. Y'all make an excuse for that action. I know, because I see the hypocrisy all the time with you guys. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the LDBC, right? Whether y'all listening to this channel, I probably got like 4 people that listen to this channel, but I'm going to continue. I'm going to keep the same energy with my guys and supposedly your guys, right? I'm not a fan of a boxer. I'm a fan of boxing. I love boxing, period, right? If Canelo looks like trash tonight, I'll say he looks like trash. If Canelo pulls some... try not to cuss here, guys, so bear with me. If he pulls some HAS, right? Then I'll call him on it, man. I'll call him on it, and I'll be upset about it. Honestly, I didn't like the fact that he fought Amir Khan. I mean, I was like, come on, as a little guy, man, you kind of give these guys you kind of giving them a little fuel for the fire there. But in reality, what? Amir Khan's not a bad boxer. He's a great boxer. A fleet-footed, fastest hands in boxing at the time. I think Brian Garcia is now, but yeah. I mean, he wasn't bad. I mean, everybody likes to talk about, this is another, since I bring up Khan, let me say this. They like to mention that Jermall Charlo was Canelo's mandatory for 2 years. Never has Jermall been Canelo's mandatory. None, son. Because he would have got the same treatment as everybody else. They would have stripped him, Golovkin's on stage right now. He's about to fight. So I'm going to try to cut this too, and my phone's down to like 10%. So let me kind of hurry it up. Because I got another one I want to do. Anyway, the whole, he's fighting... Oh, okay, so we're talking about, man, let me go back to Demetrius Andre because this is important, right? He did an interview with Boxing Social. Um, he says it the best, and he says we need to fight each other. Everyone in this division needs to fight each other. He kept it 100. Period. What did he say? We need to fight each other, or what are we doing just waiting around for Canelo? Let's fight each other. Let's give them a reason to pick one of us. Because the truth is that Canelo is the number one, right? Is the number one. And he doesn't need to call out anyone. He doesn't. Number one doesn't call out number two. That's why they sit there and bark, right? Bark, bark, bark. And then they get everybody all riled up. Come on. Show you a bite, son. Right? Canelo's gonna handle him, man. Canelo will handle him as soon as, whenever they get their turn. But they ain't doing anything. Canelo needs to act. Well, Andre says it the best. He's like, I'll fight Billy Joe at 68. If he beats me, I'll go back down to 160 and I'll take on Jamal. And I still got my 160 belt. I don't mind going up and fighting Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders is another one. Bumps, talks. Dude, who are you fighting? Who are you fighting? Who do you think that you beat? And then everybody pumps up Lemieux like, oh man, he outboxed Lemieux. Did you see how he moved and da and that? It's Lemieux. It's Lemieux. Anybody. Any bow-legged person could outbox Lemieux, man. Seriously. Golovkin did it. Golovkin was moving him around. Seriously. I mean, jab. I mean, come on, man. Lemieux's, no disrespect to Lemieux. You know, he's not an elite fighter. He's not a great boxer. He's not he's a brawler, sloppy brawler. Gets hit, hits back, whatever. I mean, it'll be entertaining to watch him fight. He fought that guy that looked like Soda Papachinsky from Tyson Knockout. You know, what was his name? Spike O'Sullivan. You know, that's another thing too. When he came up, I was like, they had him in discussion. Like, what's he gonna fight him for? That was De La Hoya trying to make that fight. That's a stupid fight. I would have talked bad on it, and I think Canelo's already sick of that because, you know, he is trying to build his legacy. He's trying to build his legacy, and fighting fights like that ain't gonna happen. Anyway, you see who these guys are fighting, and they're making the fights, but because nobody's fighting. Jamal Charlo. Whenever Andre, y'all seen the video. If you know boxing and you watch these videos and you're into these videos, man, you've seen the video where he's at after the post-fight and he says, when can we fight? When can we fight? You know? Oh, you know me. You know everything about me. He says what? Oh, I'm not a matchmaker. I'm not a promoter. I'm this and that. Well, which is it? Is it call Al, or is it that you're your own promoter? Because in one year, you guys, I mean, in one occasion, you'll say something when it fits your situation. Cuando te conviene, like we say, you're your own promoter, right? Because you want to sound fly. And then you have, oh, nah, you know what, man? I don't make the decisions, man. Talk to Al. That's it. Spence does it too. Oh, I don't know what a promoter. I don't know a promoter. I don't know. What do you say about, what's his name? Terrence Crawford, when he was trying to, like, talk down on Terrence Crawford about having a promoter, or this is a promoter or whatever. And what? Do you have a promoter or not? Well, call Al. Oh, Al don't exist. I'm my own promoter. Anyway, advisor, promoter, whatever you want to call him. The man does a job that promoters do, right? And probably managers too, and they guide you and tell you don't fight him, or do fight him, or hold off on that one, or do this one, right? Mr. Easy Road. Anyway, so that being said, Hearn says this in an interview as well. He says, Andre, on BJ Saunders, after this fight, right, if Canelo wins, Caleb wins, whatever, Callum wins, what's going to happen next? Well, he says, well, we'll look at Billy Joe Saunders, and I want to make Billy Joe Saunders and Andre. But if Canelo picks Billy Joe Saunders to fight, then, of course, we'll go with the Canelo fight if Canelo wins tonight or Saturday night. To be honest with you, I'd rather see Andre versus Billy Joe Saunders before I see Canelo fight either one of those, right? Bam. So in May, what's going to happen? What I think would happen, what should happen. Canelo go ahead, and that one guy that y'all said he wouldn't fight because he's a mover, slick fighter, and a killer in the ring, and how many fights does he have, and who has he fought, who's he fighting, little light touches his whole career guy, man, I like him, from Tennessee, Caleb Plant, right? The guy's cool. Why he's not hyped up like Eminem was hyped up in rap back in the day, when he first came out. Why he's not built up like that by his promoters, by his what's his name, Al Heyman. Al Heyman didn't blow him up, but he's that should be an easy guy to promote, right? Easy. I mean, dude, the dude's cool. The dude talks fly, dress fly, man. Got a good story, but not a good story. He has a story that touches people about his daughter passing away, and may she rest in peace. I didn't mean to say a good story, but I'm saying, you know what I mean as far as, that sounds bad too, sellable. But anyway, people will relate to him, or they'll feel for him or whatever. But he's a cool kid, man. I mean, I like Caleb Plant, man. I pick Caleb Plant to beat Benavidez. I've said that for a long time. Matter of fact, I've already got pre-bets on that. My buddy Pedro and my buddy Pinguino. We already got shaking hands. I'm already 200 guaranteed loss if Benavidez can actually make weight and fight Caleb Plant. Jesus. Another one too. Benavidez. Come on, man. Now they got the whole Benavidez thing that, Canelo won't fight Benavidez. Canelo won't fight Benavidez. That's another kid, man. The dude's a kid. You still got to let him grow up. That's like throwing that new kid, that Puerto Rican kid, what's his name? Edgar Berlanga. Throwing him to Canelo, man. That's not even fair. Canelo schools him, and what happens? Oh, man, that guy wasn't ready, cherry pick, whatever excuses y'all will make. But, hey, you know what? It would sell. Puerto Rican versus Mexico, youngster versus veteran. Hey, maybe in a year or 2 or 3 years, whenever Canelo's ready, hey, and this guy's coming up, hey, more power to him, man. He learned his craft to see that's where he's at. If he beats him, he hands over the torch. Hey, that's cool, right? Well deserved. That's how it should be. But don't start pumping his head up and hyping him up now. Don't do. But Benavidez, man, Benavidez ain't ready yet. And if y'all think he is, he gets out there. Hey, he'll learn something. But he's gonna take that loss. I don't have a problem with the boxer taking a loss. A boxer that doesn't have a loss is a very calculated selector of opponents, right? One can say that, or one can say he's just skilled. There's arguments. There's different positions. Look at Floyd Mayweather. People make that. You can make that easily. You can make that argument very easily. I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm not going to get into it. Kazaki fought a lot of great fighters. Left the game with a 0. No, and was an elite guy. Okay. So Canelo wins. He fights Plant. We know that, and that's gonna happen in May. If he beats Smith tomorrow night, then he fights Plant in May. Hopefully, we get to see the Andre and Billy Joe Saunders fight. I pick Andre to win that fight for 2 reasons. Because one, I can't stand Billy Joe Saunders, right? I can't. I cannot stand that guy, him and his fans. I cannot stand. And I want to see Andre get that opportunity. Because the guy's a hard worker. He's grown up a lot. Respectful, talks good, man. He's a good guy, man. He's a likable guy. He is, you know. I'm not gonna say he's tall, dark, and handsome, but he'll say it 1,000 times. You know what I mean? But you know, I believe I'd like to see that fight. I'd like to see him get that fight. You know, and that's a tough one for Canelo, man. And I wanna see my fighter prove. Well, I want him to prove. I want to be proved right. Does that make sense? Because if he doesn't fight Andre, he doesn't fight Charlo, y'all can always just piss and cry and talk. Well, y'all do it now. Talking about the duck and this and that. And he, blah, 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 blah. Scared of black fighters. All that stuff y'all say, right? Doesn't make sense to me, but y'all want to say it, right? He's scared of slick fighters. The only one out of those two that are slick is Andre. And Jamal's not. Where do y'all see that? What do y'all see in this guy? I don't understand. I don't see it. Right? I do not see it. I said I'd give it Derevyanchenko. I give him credit. Okay, you know what? I'll give him credit. But don't act like he's a great thing, man. Like beating Derevyanchenko was a huge, like, oh yeah, that's a proof. That was a step up fight for him. A man that's had 3 opportunities for a belt and lost every one of those opportunities. Right? Coming off of a loss. That was his step up fight. Think about that. That is his step up fight. Was it that boy that just had fought Jaime Munguia? What's his name? It wasn't him. It wasn't Adams. It wouldn't have been Monroe. None of that, man. Come on, man. These guys ain't fighting anybody. And if they wanted to fight somebody, they would. Jamal Charlo would have fought Andre. But y'all don't keep that narrative. Y'all don't keep that. Y'all rather have the idea of, oh, Canelo's scared of him. He's ducking him. He's running from him. How, man? How? The only person they ever mandated to make, because remember they had the whole Golovkin was going to fight Canelo, Golovkin. There was no breaking into that. There was no mandatory going to be set. That's the fight everybody wanted to see. They knew that. The whole world knew that. Everybody was pushing for it. Right? So, and then Canelo gets the belt. Right? What do? They mandate this man right now on the screen, Golovkin, for they mandate him to fight Charlo. He turns it down, right? Anyway, doesn't matter right now because Golovkin doesn't want to fight Canelo, and Canelo made it clear he don't want to fight him again, and maybe they'll see it in the end when this guy's ready to retire. You know, why not? Big payday. People might still be interested in it. People don't understand, right? I mean, they're like Canelo's picking on Kovalev because he's old and this and that and this. Golovkin's old. Why don't he fight Golovkin again? Golovkin's older than him, man. Like, y'all just talk nonsense, man. I say reason and logic. I say it for a reason. Think about what you say. Think about what's coming out of your mouth. Think before you speak. There's fights we need to see, right? What Canelo needs to do, he needs to say, just like Floyd Mayweather said, was you fight him, y'all two fight, I get the winner. Bam, simple as that. He said, you fight Austin Trout. He went, fought Austin Trout, did what he did, and then bam. Got the mega fight that way. But because he had a crowd with him. He had people that he was an attraction. A record-breaking attraction, bro. There was nothing but Mexican flags in there, and there were people yelling Canelo the whole time. So don't tell me Floyd, yeah, gets it hyped up. I understand. You know, And I tell you what, people support hate more than they support love. So people will watch a Canelo fight just to see him lose. Truth is, who do you think they can make a fight with right now from 168 to 154, come up or meet in the middle, right? The Canelo would not be the favorite. I'll say this again. Who? No one. Put him against Charlo, Canelo's the favorite. Put him against Andre, Canelo's the favorite. Put him against Plant, Canelo's the favorite. Put him against Benavidez, Canelo's the favorite. Right? Put him against Jermell, Canelo's a favorite. Put him against Tony Harris, Canelo's a favorite. Put him against Golovkin, guess who's the favorite on that one? Canelo. There's not. Bivol said he wants to come down from 168 to from 175 to 168. He was willing to do that to fight Canelo. Guess who's gonna be the favorite? I promise you, Canelo. You know, they were even talking about fighting Butterbeef when everybody's like, "Hey, they'll never fight him. He'll never fight him." Man, he was on the option list, you know. But anyway, the man not fighting at 175. He went up there, tested the waters. Maybe he felt something he didn't like, right? I don't want my phone to die, so let me hurry up and finish this up before I just wasted all my time. And let's see right here. Sorry about this, guys. Like I said, anyway, man, is he chasing legacy? I believe so. He's showing us that, and he's going to continue to show us. Now he's an independent. Now he's independent. He's free. He can work with whoever he wants, including the guy you think is going to kill him. He'll whoever that may be, he can fight him. There's no war with him amongst anyone. Money, he took the Smith fight, man, no problem, whatever, and apparently it ain't about money. And he said in an interview, it's not about the money, man. I just want to make these good fights, and whatever it takes, it is what it is, right? Hey, ducking, negative. And we'll see that here in the future. You'll see, and he's going to prove it. And I believe in the man. I wish more fighters were like that. And I 100% like what Demetrius Andre is saying. Demetrius Andre, if you see this video, you ever get a chance, man, hey, I support it, man, homeboy. I hope you do good in your career. I know you had a lot of hiccups along the way. Man, I hope you get the Jamal Charlo fight. I hope you beat Billy Joe Saunders, man. Make me some money on that because I will bet on you. Anyway, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the little bell notification, comment. If you want to talk trash, talk it. I don't care. It is what it is. I'm going to, we got the third round here. The Golovkin fight. I'm going to finish what? I'm going to drink my Jameson. Smoke my Camacho cigar. And enjoy the fight. You guys take it easy, Greasy. Holla at you later, players.